A lot of people have been asking where I've been lately. I haven't been making many, if any, YouTube videos. I've been disappeared from virtually all social media, not completely, but some people have been in contact with me. But a lot of the work that I've doing, I've completely put on hold since late last year. And for the most part, I seem to have disappeared, and a lot of people are wondering where I've gone and what's going on. I'll explain what's going on. I'm very sick, and I may be dead very soon due to medical problems, and this video is going to be about those medical problems. I still have hope that it all might come good in the near future. So I'm in desperately trying to get proper medical treatment with a long history of medical corruption involved here, and I want to tell the story of this. So this is all relates to autoimmune problems. So I've got massive autoimmune problems that if I can't get some kind of treatment that I've been trying desperately to find for 25 years, I will be dead. I will be dead very soon because of it. I may not sound it, but I'm in a very, very bad way. I'm bedridden for much of the time. I've spent over the past 25 years, a lot of that time I've been bedridden as well. I don't want to go into the graphic details, but I'm plagued with autoimmune problems. My body's falling apart, and I need emergency, proper, competent medical treatment for it, which I've been desperately seeking and failing to find for 25 years. So here's a story. So what I have is not some kind of genetic mutation or genetic flaw or inferiority or anything. I've always been genetically and in other ways vastly superior. This isn't a genetic problem. These autoimmune problems. This was done to me. So I was always super fit. Shit you wouldn't believe. I was super fit, super active, super talented, and despite my medical woes from an environmental factor that caused a skin condition and some problems when in my childhood. Outside of that, I was super fit and didn't get sick or anything outside of that. But then stuff like living in a radioactive environment, that started causing some problems as well. So there were some environmental problems that caused a few problems eventually. But outside of that, I was super fit anyway. So what happened was a story that you just won't believe, and this is all true. Maybe someone locally of the area who was at least part of this story, involved in this shit, would be able to testify that to this happening. This shit, corruption and evil, you just wouldn't believe. So I grew up in the central coast of New South Wales, Australia. I grew up in Batter Bay. I always considered the entrance my home, and the central coast of New South Wales I spent most of my life in. So there's a lot of fucked up shit going on in New South Wales, and especially Central Coast. A lot of systemic corruption in all kinds of government and industries and shit, all working in tandem. Most evil shit you couldn't imagine. But on the surface, you wouldn't recognise that this exists on the surface, because it's all done covertly, and anyone who catches onto it quietly disappears. A lot of people are murdered who say anything. It's all kept under wraps. So what happened in 1996, there was a killer flu that killed a lot of people locally on the Central Coast. So on the main road, Wyong Road, somewhere, I think it was at Foresters Beach, Bateau Bay, Foresters Beach, somewhere, there was a car accident. And there was a van that was transporting highly sensitive and volatile, dangerous biological materials. These dangerous biological materials and radioactive materials, all these sensitive materials, there are places where especially those that are in populated places that are at risk of exposure. If a car accident happens, it's illegal. There's street signs. There's actually street signs there to show that they've been there for decades. Warning signs saying that this is like a hazard-free zone. No radioactive and volatile biological materials allowed to be transported through here, because this is a highly populated area. So if people who transport this kind of shit for whatever evil purposes they're doing, they're not allowed to just transport it in through the middle of a city. They have to go take certain paths because it's completely banned from going in certain areas because the risk is too big. They have to take a specific route. So on the main road, it was, which was the only way to travel between different suburbs through that main road. You just weren't allowed to take that road. So you had to take the long way through the highway or some even further route. You had to go a long way around. You weren't allowed to transport that shit through here. So they just did it anyway. And they'd done it over and over. It was discovered later that they were just completely ignoring the law and the rules and everything, and they were just doing this regularly, transporting radioactive and volatile biological materials, which includes man-made viruses and shit, that they shouldn't be making in the first place, and it was illegal to do. But they were doing it anyway, and they were having car accidents, and this shit had been contagions had been spread to the population from car accidents, leaking out from car accidents and shit. And this shit was going on, and it was always covered up and shit. So one of these vans transporting a man-made virus, a killer flu, crashed somewhere around Foresters Beach and Battersea Bay. Right near one of these actual signs saying that it's illegal to transport that shit. And the government knew about it and covered it up. So this car accident happened. A man-made virus was released into the air, and people started dying all over the place. They caught this killer flu, and people were dying all over the place. Well, this super fit me caught that virus, and I got very, very sick to the point where I'm going to have to see a doctor. I stayed away from doctors. I very rarely saw a doctor unless I absolutely had to. Well, I had to because I was going to die. I was that sick, and people were dying all around me from the same thing. And I wasn't getting better, I was rapidly getting worse. So I went to see a doctor, whose name was Dr. Trainer, at Bay Village, at Battersea Bay. And he was about to retire. And he had a little scheme going. He wasn't the only one involved here. So the people transporting this man-made virus, as I understand it, they were covertly, deliberately infecting people and experimenting on them anyway, with these man-made viruses and killing people. Well, they just took advantage of their own fuck-up. So their virus got released to the local community and it started killing people. So what they decided to do is, let's just consider this as an opportunity. These people are infected by our virus. Let's experiment on them like we would have done to the intended victims anyway. Let's just use them as our guinea pigs. So they made a deal with a bunch of corrupt doctors, which rampant corruption, medical or otherwise, throughout New South Wales, Australia, especially on the Central Coast. It's ridiculous how bad it is. So made a deal with a bunch of corrupt doctors and paid them a shitload of money, especially those like that's Dr. Trainer that I was seeing, paying them a shitload of money as a retirement gift, in order to use their own patients as a victim, those who had caught this virus, like me. So they were using us as guinea pigs for medical experiments and killing us. So it wasn't just that these deaths weren't just from the virus. The doctors were killing us by experimenting on us. And Dr. Trainer experimented on me. Now, he lied to me and he said that he led me on to think that what he was giving me was a treatment for the virus and I was going to get better. Now, I got worse, and then I ended up coming back to see them, and he admitted that what he had given me had nothing to do with my problem, my infection. It was something else. And that it was some experimental thing that he was involved in. And he said that it was in my best interests to finish the course. Well, if I finished the course, I would have died. So I ended up stopped taking it because I was at death's door. I was definitely going to die if I kept taking it, so I stopped taking it. And 2 weeks later, I got rapidly better. I never fully recovered. I developed psoriasis all over my scalp, an autoimmune problem, my first of all these autoimmune problems. My hair was constantly wet from blood and sweat, just constantly oozing out of the top of my head. It was a giant sore of psoriasis, and I wasn't diagnosed with psoriasis until many years later. So what happened was some of this started leaking into the media and shit for a while, and there was this bizarre conspiracy theory about that there was a man-made virus that escaped from this van that had a crash and all this kind of shit. And I didn't take it seriously. I thought it was just some silly conspiracy theory at first. But a lot of people started taking it seriously, and it became a big thing. And I started becoming a little bit open to, maybe it's far-reaching, but maybe that was the case. And things that happened that were coming out fit exactly with my story. The fact that this doctor experimented on me, and these stories are coming out about this conspiracy of all these doctors on the Central Coast killing their patients, and using them as guinea pigs for experiments for the pharmaceutical company that was transporting that virus and experimenting and murdering people anyway with it. And they used us as guinea pigs, and they lied and they covered it all up. They took advantage of their own contagion, killing and infecting us all, and then they killed the rest of us as guinea pigs. Well, it turned out to be true. So certain people, there were whistleblowers within this pharmaceutical company, more and more of them coming out saying that this is true, this is what happened. And there was some kind of evidence that was shown, and a lot of people started taking it more seriously after that. And more and more whistleblowers started coming out all over the place. And the government eventually confessed that it was all true. They covered it up, lied about it for a while, and then other people in the government confessed that it was all true. So this far-reaching, bizarre, fucked up conspiracy, the government ended up confessing to. And all they could do, they never even apologized for it. They said, okay, we'll do something about it. What we'll do is we'll just be more vigorous, we'll just pay more attention to making sure that these pharmaceutical companies can't get away with transporting these sensitive materials through places that it's not supposed to be transported through. We'll just crack down a little bit on the pharmaceutical companies. That's just basically it. That's all they offered. There was not even an apology. They confessed that it was all true. And a lot of people died. There was no compensation, not even an apology. And no follow-up treatment for the victims or who did survive. Nothing. They killed a whole bunch of people, experimented on, exploited them, and just swept it under the carpet with a fake promise that they'd do something about it. Too little, too late, with no real sincerity behind it. And it all just basically got covered up, swept under the table, and no one was really allowed. It became taboo that no one was allowed to talk about it. Bad things would happen to you if you kept talking about it, right? So it all got swept under the carpet. And what I'm saying is that anyone who continued talking about it was mysteriously labelled with a psychiatric illness, and they would disappear, taken to the local Wyong psychiatric facility where they would quietly disappear. And if you asked any questions, then you also had a mental illness, and you would quietly disappear, and so on. And it wasn't just Wyong, it was also Gosford. Gosford was more worse than Wyong back in those days. And a lot of really fucked up shit went down, you wouldn't believe. So it all got swept under the carpet, and anyone who kept pushing this information about what happened would quietly disappear, kidnapped and tortured and mutilated and murdered by psychiatry. Anyone who asked any questions. So over time, it got pretty much covered up and forgotten. And this wasn't the only fucked up conspiracy that went on. There's a whole bunch of shit that went on. So it was a really complex situation, and a lot of pushback by a corrupt government desperately trying to cover a lot of shit up. So this virus conspiracy, the government confessed to it. A lot of whistleblowers came out, and some of them died. They were killed over it. And ended up getting swept under the carpet. So here I developed autoimmune problems from being a victim of this shit. I was like super fit and everything, and very healthy before that, despite some environmental related skin conditions, stuff like that. but generally I was very super fit. And as a result of that, I became very sick, and I developed autoimmune problems in the form of psoriasis that was undiagnosed until many years later. So I couldn't go back to that doctor because he retired filthy rich from all the bribes he was given for killing his patients. The government even admitted that certain doctors, and they named Dr. Traynor as one of those doctors and they confessed that yes, this doctor and others, and they named specific doctors in specific areas, and he was one of them, that they did indeed murder a lot of their patients and use them as guinea pigs as experiments for this very pharmaceutical company who had the crash and infected us all. That's double fucked up. And the government confessed to all this and didn't even apologise, didn't offer any compensation or treatment, tried to reduce the damage, nothing. They just admitted that it happened, made a weak promise of some ridiculous, we'll just be more cautious in the future or some shit like that over the transport of these materials that should never have been transported in the first place. And basically all the critics were disappeared in the name of psychiatry. Now people did resist for a while, but they all disappeared. They were all kidnapped by local police and tortured and killed by psychiatry. And it all got covered up. So here I was, I had to get a new doctor because that doctor retired filthy rich from all the bribes he was given for killing his patients, like me. And I had to find another doctor, and no doctor would treat me. And I didn't know why for a while. They treated me like, they just refused to face me. They refused to take me on as a patient. And they knew of me and they refused to treat me. Like, what the fuck's going on? I didn't realise until a while later that this had to do with the fact that I was blacklisted over what happened as one of these victims. None of these doctors wanted anything to do with me because they didn't want to be investigated for having any connection to me whatsoever. And a lot of these doctors were involved in this shit and they didn't want any ties to it. So people like me were blacklisted. The victims were blacklisted. Victims who survived were blacklisted. Well, doctors covertly blacklisting and sharing blacklists with each other of patients to avoid was illegal. So one common way this happens is just to say a doctor does something wrong and hurts a patient, and that patient sues that doctor. Well, most patients aren't going to sue their doctor, and they're easy prey, and that's fine. So these are you might call them whitelisted. These are exploitable people that you can do shit to and get away with. Vulnerable people who you can take an advantage of. You might one of the names of this is to call them a whitelist. These are the people you can do anything to and everything's fine. Blacklist is the people you don't want to go near. Like, so if you sue a doctor, that doctor will secretly add you to a blacklist and share this with other doctors. And other doctors, if you go and become a new patient, they'll look at the blacklist and see if you're one of the people. Don't go near this person. So no doctor will treat you. You're a risk to them. And this is illegal. A lot of fucked up shit happens over these blacklists. So not long after all that shit happened, this blacklisting conspiracy was exposed. And so there was some doctors who got into trouble over it, and the blacklisting was supposedly shut down. So I was finally, after this blacklisting ended, I was able to see a doctor again. I didn't do this straight away. I gave up on doctors for a while, and then the psoriasis was getting that bad that I eventually saw more doctors again. So what happened was I started seeing doctor again. The scalp was bleeding and everything was so bad and painful and everything. Didn't know what it was. I eventually, finally, got a referral to a skin specialist in Gosford. I can't remember his name, but it was in Gosford. A skin specialist in Gosford. So this dude, he instantly said, "I'm fucked. There's no hope. There's only just one chance, small chance you've got. There's this promising new treatment. It's promising new experimental treatment." At least this guy admitted that what he was doing was experimental. But he said that it's promising, it's safe, that it's a wonder drug. That's what he called it, a wonder drug. And it was basically all it was extreme doses of vitamin A. 50,000 AU, whatever measurement an AU is, that's what they call that. 50,000 AU of vitamin A every day for 6 months was the treatment. And he promised me it's all fine, it's relatively safe, and it's a wonder drug, and it's gonna, and you're one of the people, you have the rare opportunity to have this wonder drug, and it will cure you just fine. All your skin problems are gonna all go away. And so he never made any effort to investigate or treat the problem that I had with my scalp and other skin problems I had after that as a result of what was done to me. He straight off the bat, he said, I'm fucked and this is my only hope, this is my only chance to take advantage of my desperation and trust and exploit me from the very first moment. So he must have already known what had been done to me and saw me as an exploitable opportunity for more experiments. So this was all illegal. So it turned out that I was one of 3,000 young men in New South Wales, and I think it was Victoria as well, but most of them were in New South Wales. I was one of 3,000 victims, guinea pigs for this particular vitamin A experiment. A whole series of experiments that were done to me that fucked me up, but this was the worst one. This is worse than that immune system suppressant that fucked me up, started psoriasis. This particular one was what really fucked me up, the vitamin A. So today, I'm losing my voice because I'm so sick. I don't sound like I'm losing my voice. If I need to pause and continue, I'll do so. So today, it's widely known that vitamin A in small doses is very good and necessary for you. But if you take above, I think it's like 7,000 AU, which is not much vitamin A. So you can only take a small amount of vitamin A. Anything above that, it's lethal. It'll kill you, or really fuck you up at the least. And when it comes to taking supplements and stuff like that, and there's all warning signs everywhere, warning labels everywhere and stuff regarding taking too much. You have to check. The one thing you have to check on supplements is how much vitamin A is in it, because if you take over 7,500 or whatever it is, you're at serious risk of massive damage or death. This is deadly. This vitamin A is deadly beyond a certain small dose. So the reason why this is even known, well, how would you know that it's deadly unless you experiment on people with higher doses of vitamin A and you kill them to know that it kills people? Well, the reason why this is known, and it's such a big deal, it has been for a long time now, a lot of warnings over vitamin A, is because of the experiments that were done to me and others. So I was given 50,000 AU every day. A lot of fucked up shit happened to me and I was very close to dying. Long story, but I ended up not taking the rest. I took about 4 or 5 months out of the 6 months, and then I stopped or I was going to die. I went back to see the skin specialist in desperation, in emergency, how fucked up I was, and he didn't seem concerned at all that I was at death's door. He insisted that I continue the treatment and don't worry about the symptoms, just keep doing, just take the whole course. Now fuck your life. I got money to make on these guinea pig experiments. If you stop taking it, you're gonna fuck up our little scam going. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck up my profit. You need to die here. You need to take it all and die, so that to give us the statistics we're after. So he tried to push this shit on and tried to downplay the risks and everything, and insisted I just continue the course. And I decided, fuck it, and I'm going to die, I'm going to have to stop. So I was taking these rather large tablets of massive doses of vitamin A for many months, and it fucked me up, and that's when I developed psoriasis all over my body. And it quickly moved on to arthritis and shit, so it was psoriatic arthritis as well, which for many years it was denied that there was such thing as psoriatic arthritis until I had scans done, and to prove it, a lot happened. So my body got fucked up even worse, completely systemic autoimmune problems, and I became bedridden and fucked up beyond belief. My whole body turned into a giant bleeding sore, basically. Inflammation everywhere. And here I was with all this psoriasis. I'm completely fucked up from what they did to me. And how does the skin specialist respond to what he's just done to me? oh, well, the damage is done. It's too late. We can't reverse it. There's nothing we can do. Nothing anyone can do about it. Too bad. You're just going to have to live with it. So the skin specialist said that, and the government ended up confessing to me that this was another guinea pig experiment that they shouldn't have done. They confessed that this had been done again. The government confessed to me, and they said the same thing. They didn't even apologize. They just confessed, yeah, this is what happened, and they had made no effort to study my body and find out how much damage had been done and what they could do to fix me up the best they can. No effort was made, no follow-up treatment. All they said was basically that, yes, this happened, and they immediately concluded, without even looking into it, that there's nothing that can be done about it. You're too bad, you're just going to have to learn to live with it. And that was it. Case closed. No further appointments with any doctors, case closed. So if I was to go to find any skin specialist, I'd have to find a new GP all over again and then convince him to give me a referral to a skin specialist, wait several months to get in, and then start all over again. So basically all the whole organisation of doctor appointments and shit, all case closed. End of story. I became bedridden, almost died for a long time. So I full on became reclusive. And all I had was my anonymous stuff and everything that happened. I was in a bad way and I was bedridden. I was slipping in and out of comas. My whole body looked like the Elephant Man. It's fucking ridiculous. I had absolutely no social life. I didn't want anyone to see my ugly, repulsive, giant sore of a body. Giant weeping sore of a body. It was unbelievable. So I was fucked up and I'd given up on doctors for a while. And then I eventually started trying to see doctors again. I tried one doctor, just doctor hopping one after another, getting fucked around with for a long time, the same shit. Ridiculous explanations like, oh, well, it's some bizarre diagnosis of stupidity. And with conclusions like, oh, you just need to drink one more glass of water a day. Or as a recent example, have a cucumber of 3 days a week, have a cucumber. Or you just need to drink a bit of peppermint tea. Stupid fucking retarded shit. That's all I had to say. I've got these massive autoimmune problems from government experiments. No interest in doing tests to find out what's wrong. No interest whatsoever. Complete avoidance with the most ridiculous, petty excuses imaginable. Every single doctor fucking me around with stupidity. I'll just pause this. I'll be back in a sec. Alright, I'm back. So I started trying to see doctors again and just run around and everything, excuses. I eventually see this really old senile doctor who's he's probably wasn't a good doctor to begin with, but he was really old and he'd gone completely senile and he shouldn't have been a doctor. He should have had his medical license revoked long ago. He's completely senile and retarded. So this guy makes a bizarre misdiagnosis. That's obviously no coherence to it whatsoever because he's just completely senile. And then on top of that, he makes a big mistake on the prescription that's got nothing to do with any treatment for the thing that he is claiming. Just completely incoherent. And I just took what he gave me. And what he gave me was an accidental cure. So what he gave me was cortisone called L-Euphrat. It was in a liquid bottle form. And it had a massive impact on my psoriasis. It made it all almost completely go away. Finally, I got an completely incompetent senile doctor, sure, but an accidental cure is I've finally found something for better or worse. I've found something to treat it. So it was a massive relief, and it made it almost completely go away. Well, I needed more of it. I was only given a small bottle. Well, I went back to try and get another bottle, and it turns out that he died. He was already really old and senile anyway, and he ended up dying of old age when I went to go back to get another bottle. So there was this other doctor who was there that I had to see instead. His name was Coco Sui, some Southeast Asian, really fucked up dude too. I'll get to that, but So I had to see this Coco Swee dude at the same place, which was at the entrance, the main doctor's at the entrance, which was just around the corner where I used to live. So I explained the situation that I've discovered an accidental cure, this cortisone stuff, and he was very reluctant to give me any more. And I said, if you're not going to give me some cortisone, I'm just going to continue doctor hopping until I can find someone who does. And he didn't give me some at first, and then he eventually later decided to give me some. I had to fight through hell just to get a little bit of cortisone. It's ridiculous. So I got a little bit of cortisone here and there through a lot of hard work trying to convince him to give me some, and I eventually got enough out of him that I was able to send my psoriasis into complete remission for about 6 months. It completely disappeared. So I thought I must have been cured. It's gone. I've never had this hell that I live with this skin condition, whatever it is. It's gone. Whatever it is, it's finally gone. And all my autoimmune problems just disappeared for 6 months. But after that 6 months, they slowly started coming back. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to get more cortisone. I had a good run for a while. I'm going to have to crack down on this stuff again and get some more cortisone. Well, I went to get more, and as it turns out, that this Eliufrat miracle treatment, it's been banned from Australia. I looked into it, and the reasons for banning it were completely dishonest. It's a big lie. So what was happening was that people were getting cured from all kinds of autoimmune-related diseases from taking this Eliufrat, which is a concentrated form of cortisone. And I got in contact with a lot of other people who had the same stories, is that they were either cured or had long-term remission on massive problems, and it was treated as a miracle drug. I don't know anyone who's had any side effects from it or anything ever, but there was this myth that it had the potential, because it was concentrated cortisone, it theoretically, or at least hypothetically, had the potential of harm. So it wasn't that it was doing anything. There was no evidence of it actually causing harm. They had this theory at best that it could cause harm. So as a precaution, they completely banned it. In truth, what they were doing is people were getting cured, and they didn't want people cured. They want people sick. They wanted people relying on a constant ineffective treatment that they have to pay a fortune for the rest of their lives. They wanted customers. They didn't want cures. So they got rid of the cure, and they replaced it with weak cortisone, topical cortisone, which was a cream that you'd have to put all over your body. And they were expensive. They were like $30 a tube. So even though it was government subsidized, pharmaceutical companies were getting thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, ridiculous amounts of money for these tubes of ineffective weak cortisone, compared to that Eliufrat stuff, which was cheap as fuck. And it worked in a small amount, small concentrated amount. No, they just used a heavily diluted weak cortisone that had only a minor effect, but enough that people would use it to get at least some minor relief. And long term, covering your body in that shit long term did have problems. This Eliufrat stuff, you would take a small dose of it here and there and stop, and it would have an impact and it'll stop. This stuff, you had to constantly take this stuff and constantly overload your body with it. So they replaced a cure with a dangerous, ineffective shit that was expensive. And so I started taking that stuff, cream, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, and I was losing the battle against psoriasis. It was getting worse and worse gradually, even though I was taking a lot of this stuff. So I tried to see other doctors. They wouldn't give me any kind of treatment as well. So I went back to this doctor, and multiple times trying to reason with him, saying, look, what you're doing, it's not enough. I need proper medical treatment, and I need it now. My life is destroyed. I'm in pain. I'm living in hell. I need proper medical treatment. I need something stronger to get rid of my psoriasis and this other stuff. And he didn't even have a feeble excuse. He just didn't give a shit. He just wasn't interested in, all he cared about was money. He just didn't give a shit about the health of his patients. He just wasn't interested and couldn't even give a valid reason for just not giving a shit and doing anything. He couldn't justify his inaction. And other doctors, it was the same position. There's this chronic attitude of disinterest and inaction. They would be quick to sell you their snake oil treatments that the pharmaceutical companies are pushing on you. Even if that treatment has nothing to do with what the problem you've got, they'll still push it on you. But when it comes to real treatments like cortisone stuff, there's this culture of avoiding cortisone at all costs. I got confessions out of several doctors that this is the instructions of the pharmaceutical companies, and if they prescribe too much cortisone, then they lose their bonuses and shit that are all these the free gifts and bribes that they were given. They lose all this shit. So this is all greed and corruption based. It's nothing to do with health. This has got to do with profit and shit. And I got confessions out of a bunch of doctors over this. Through a lot of hard work. So this Coco Swee dude, I go to see him several times. I try and reason with him. He just doesn't give a shit. He can't even justify his inaction. So I get a whole bunch of... I stopped seeing Give Up and Doctors for a while, and I decided I'm gonna take one last attempt, and I'm gonna go hardcore here with everything I've got. I got a lot of printouts off the internet, all kinds of built up a database of all kinds of documents and research from reputable sources, all updated information about psoriasis and how it's a very serious illness that will kill you if it's not treated. It's not some minor cosmetic problem. Like doctors had universally doctors had the idea about psoriasis that it's a cosmetic. If it is a real disease, it's just cosmetic, and it's just all in your head. So the treatments I got for psoriasis, the responses are, this is a list of examples of all the doctors that I'd seen over psoriasis. Because back in those days, there was a whole consensus among corrupt doctors that psoriasis didn't exist. It was just a silly conspiracy theory amongst inferior people. And they had their own excuse to justify it. So these are the excuses I was given from different doctors. One doctor said that psoriasis is a mental illness. Somehow this inflammatory skin disease is a mental illness. Fuck the evidence, fuck any premise behind it. It's just a mental illness, and that's it. Another doctor said that all the wounds I had all over my body from the psoriasis, all the bleeding sores all over my body, well, that was they're not psoriasis, it's self-harm. So somehow I was inflicting these sores all over. I was doing something to myself, and I was injuring myself, and I was mental and self-harm. Threatened with psychiatry over an inflammatory skin condition is somehow self-harm. Another doctor said that I was just a dirty, irresponsible, unclean person, and I just didn't wash myself enough. And I just needed to take responsibility and stop being such a dirty, ugly person, and I just needed to wash myself. I'm just too dirty. Meanwhile, I'm having 5 showers a day. Because I'm covered in bleeding sores, I have to keep trying to wash the wounds. Because I can get infected. I did get infections because my body was so exposed and vulnerable. But so I was just a dirty person, and I just needed to wash myself. One doctor, I brought him a whole bunch of documents from official and reputable sources to show that yes, psoriasis is a real disease. This is when I was desperately trying to get cortisone from someone, and no doctor will give me cortisone. If I was lucky, I might get 1 or 2 tubes here and there to survive a couple of days. It was a massive battle to try and get any kind of cortisone, and no doctor would be able to justify it. They're all completely full of shit. So I constantly try and debate doctors, as sick as I was, and try and reason them and show them that I need an emergency treatment for a very real life or death situation of an autoimmune disease. And they wouldn't even produce an argument. They're just completely full of shit. And I actually got a lot of confessions out of a lot of them, just that they confessed that they were full of shit, that they were being dishonest, and they just didn't care. And they didn't see a problem with it. They just didn't care. So one particular doctor, I brought in a bunch of documents. I saw him a second time. He wasn't going to give me any cortisone. He accused me of being trying to scam the system to get cortisone for some evil purpose of some sort. Maybe I was trying to sell this shit or something. I don't know. He wasn't really clear on what he was accusing me of. That I was some kind of evil person trying to scam the system to get cortisone for some self-serving agenda. So I came to say, I said, look, how about I go get some documents from reputable official sources, your own superiors. I'll get from their website or their own websites. I'll get them admitting that this is an acknowledged real life or death autoimmune problem that needs treatment of cortisone. And he said, maybe you want to do that, I'll take a look at it. So I went and did a lot of hard work, and I brought a whole bunch of documents in and everything, and I proved him wrong. So I brought these documents. I was all friendly and polite about it. I brought these documents in. He saw these documents in my hand that, okay, this dude's proved himself true, and he's caught me. I'm full of shit, and he's caught me. He spontaneously became violent and started hitting me. And Fizzy just went nuts and started attacking me. I ran out of the doctor's office. I told the nurse at the front desk, they call the police. This guy just randomly physically attacked me. He's gone completely insane for no reason, just out of nowhere. And he's trying to kill me. And the nurse panicked and just froze. She didn't know what to do. And he comes out of the office, starts attacking me again. And then he stops and says that I'm to never come back, and if he sees me again, he's going to kill me. And he despite advertising himself as bulk billing, he demanded that I pay him cash on top of bulk billing me. So he double charged me and ripped me off, and demanded cash payment right then and there on top of bulk billing to double charge me. So he's ripping off the government and ripping off me. And then he double cash charged me, so he was triple ripping off. He's ripping me and the government off triple times. So I had to pay double cash on top of him bulk billing the government for this for me this what would you call it, an appointment, for me just walking into the room with a bunch of documents and getting physically attacked. And that was all that happened. Fucking insane. And he threatened me with more violence, and he was going to kill me and shit if I didn't pay the cash then and there, and if he sees me again, he's going to kill me. And obviously, I didn't get any cortisone in that. And something else I was going to say about that. I can't remember what I was going to say about that dude. His name was Yogesh Kalra. Yogesh Kalra. He seemed to be some kind of interracial crossbreed from Eastern Europe. He seemed to be like, he might have even been Turkish or something. But he was at East Batter Bay, at the East Batter Bay shops, near the beach shops. And there was something else I was going to say, something important about that. I can't remember what I was going to say though. So these are just examples of the shit I went through with psoriasis. I'm not the only one. I probably had it worse than others, but these denials about psoriasis and the lies and excuses and ridiculous shit and utter refusal to treat people who often die of psoriasis or psoriasis related stuff, because doctors refuse to treat psoriasis, and they just make excuses of paranoid conspiracy theories that people are trying to scam the system with a fake disease or something. Look, you're covered in bleeding sores. Clearly something's wrong. And these doctors couldn't even come up with an answer to, okay, if this is all in my head, do you see these sores with your own eyes? Do they exist or do they not? All over my body. Obviously they're real. You can see them. I can see them. They don't look very well. They look very painful, and they are very painful. So where are they coming from? And a lot of these doctors would just be like, they just wouldn't even answer. They just turn a blind eye and just pretend it doesn't exist. The way, it's just fucking insane. And I don't know if it's this bad around the world, but in New South Wales, Australia, especially the Central Coast, the culture of this evil shit was just unbelievable. But there is this culture of extreme medical negligence worldwide regarding psoriasis. If you look this up, there's a long disturbing history. And it wasn't until about 10 years ago that a new paradigm of taking psoriasis seriously and accepting it as a real disease, and a very serious one at that. It took a lot of work for many, many, many years in order to force doctors to take this seriously. So that only happened about 10 years ago. So beyond 10 years ago, if you had psoriasis, this is what doctors would do to you. They would accuse you of having a mental illness and try and get you locked up, or they would accuse you of self-harm or shit, and they would say that psoriasis is a conspiracy theory that of it doesn't exist. And they would never be able to give an explanation for all these sores all over your body, no. So today, it's universally accepted today as it's a very real and serious disease, and things like psoriatic arthritis, they call it, and arthritis from psoriasis, that was denied for even longer. That there was such thing as psoriatic arthritis, because hey, psoriasis is a mental disease. It's a mental disorder or illness. So it's all in your head. You don't suffer from arthritis, even if your joints are visibly and obviously fucked. No, it's still just all in your head. The ridiculous corruption, incompetence, and evil to this is just unbelievable. There's just absolutely no excuse. So I went through this for many years, back in the days, the pre-acceptance of psoriasis days. So I eventually find my way back to the Coco Sui doctor, and I bring him this is my last attempt, and I'm just going to give up and just wait to die. So I got a shitload of all kinds of documents and everything, and I brought it all to him. I brought it all to go see him, have one more last attempt to try and reason with him and prove at all that I need emergency medical treatment for an inflammatory autoimmune disease, or I'm going to die. And this is my last attempt. I'm really nervous. I know I've got virtually no chance. And then I turn up, and then he's not there. There's a woman doctor there who I've never seen before. And so I get even more nervous, and I'm thinking, I've never even met this woman, and how am I going to convince her? She's probably going to be as corrupt as a whole fucking lot of them, and I'm going to have to start from scratch. I've got no chance. So I went to see there. I could barely speak to her because I was so nervous, and I tried to explain, look, this is psoriasis that I've got. Here's all the documents to prove it. I've been trying for years and years. I'm going to die if I don't get emergency treatment. And look, I just listened to all the evidence and everything, and I just started explaining for a short time, and then she just stopped me and she said, "I believe you." And then she says, and no doctor has ever said they believe me, because they all accuse me of lying or some shit. And she told me that she believes me. She believes everything I'm saying. And then she said that she's an expert in this exact thing. She said all the corruption and incompetence and lies and excuses that doctors are doing, the whole culture of this. She said that she's been fighting this shit for a long time. That when it comes to this arthritis stuff that I'm complaining about, it's called psoriatic arthritis, and it's a very real thing, and it's proven. And I'm an expert in that too. She said her husband was an arthritis expert, and she and her husband worked together with psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis. And this was their expertise, and she was very pissed off about. She explained that she's been fighting this shit for a long time, and you know I've found the right person at the right time by freak chance, who's an expert in everything that I'm saying. And I was with her for an hour. She reserved a whole hour to me, and I said, look, I don't want to take up too much of your time. And I say, look, I don't care if this takes all. She said, I don't care if this takes all day. My other patients can wait. It's just all they have is just common, uninteresting, simple stuff. You know, this is something important, and I don't care if it takes all day. I've got all day to reserve for you if I need. So we spent like about an hour going through. She pulled out a textbook, and she said, you tell me about your complaints. I'm going to prove a point here. Tell me in your own words what you're experiencing. And so she pulled out a textbook and says, she showed me that line, word for word, everything that I was saying. And this stuff is in textbooks. So all these doctors they're based off corrupt 1960s, out-of-date, fraudulent, fake science. And for decades, this stuff has been proven for decades. Just doctors won't accept it. And she's showing me that everything I'm saying is acknowledged in the textbooks. So she's the best doctor I've ever seen. I only saw her the one time. She spent a lot of time with me, and she went through a lot of details with me. She taught me a lot of stuff about psoriasis that I didn't know, and sent me in directions to look into more for myself and where to go to find some information. And she went through a lot of details about psoriasis, and she said, if you don't get emergency treatment, you may very well die, and I'm gonna do something about this. And she gave me a list of stuff. She explained went through all the details of the stuff she was giving me. She said, this is what it is, this is what it does. This is definitely safe as a temporary thing to try and reduce symptoms just a little bit, while we go through a whole series of extensive tests to find out how much damage is done, where it's done, because she explained to me that untreated, this is causing permanent damage every day, progressively, until it kills me. So this is imminent and urgent. So she had me do a whole long series of tests, including a colonoscopy, bone scans, all kinds of stuff. So I went and done all these scans, all these tests, and they pretty much confirmed everything that I was saying and more. So these tests, the people who did the tests, they were horrified about what they saw. They consistently said that this is far worse than what I was complaining. They were amazed at my coping abilities, that I shouldn't even be able to walk. I mean, that my body's that fucked up, I shouldn't even be able to walk. They were amazed at my coping skills. And so I went from being treated like as an immature, exaggerating, weak person, to being very respected and admired at my coping skills and stuff. That I was coping amazingly well with how fucked up my body was. So all these tests confirmed everything. And the only test I don't know the exact details on was the colonoscopy. Now they did come up with something that concerned them, but they didn't tell me then and there. They had some problems along the way, but they didn't tell me the details of them. And they told me that it's best that I speak to my doctor about that. My doctor, when I go to my doctor, he'll tell me what the problems were. So, but the other tests, they told me then and there that this is fucked up. And a whole series of tests they all showed that. So I had all these tests done, and then I went back to the Coco Sui doctor. So this fill-in female doctor, she was just filling in for a week while he was away on holiday, and she cracked down on him hardcore. She criticised the hell out of him. She wrote a list of things that this if you don't do your job, he's going to die in the near future. This is what you need to do, and you need to do it now. And if you don't do it, I'm going to hold you to account personally. There's zero tolerance for what you're doing. Do your fucking job, or else. So I go to see this doctor, and I explained to him that, look, I saw this doctor while you were away, and this is what she said, and she sent me to do all these scans, and she agreed with everything I've been trying to convince you and every other doctor of for a long time. She agreed with everything I said. She's an expert on the matter, and she says that I'm right. So she had me to do all these tests. Well, you should have all those tests with you in your hand right now. So let's go through them and confirm and prove everything that I'm saying, that I need emergency medical treatment. And he read what she had sent to him, criticising him, telling him to fucking do his job or else. And after reading that and being proven wrong, because this doctor's version of psoriasis, this doctor claimed, Coco Sui, claimed to have once had psoriasis himself. And he cured it, according to him, he cured it. So his explanation of psoriasis was that psoriasis is caused by immaturity. So he was immature once, and he couldn't handle stress and stuff. And then one day he decided to grow up. He just decided to grow the fuck up. And when he chose to grow up, his psoriasis disappeared. So I was just an immature, stupid, idiot person. I just needed to grow the fuck up. And then my psoriasis will go away all on its own. This is a fucking doctor. This is like... there's no words to explain this. So this is his explanation for psoriasis. It's all my own fault. I just need to grow the fuck up. This is a typical way doctors handle people with psoriasis. It's fucking ridiculous. So he read what her criticism of him, and that she would threaten action if he didn't do his job. Otherwise, I'm going to die. And he got so offended. He was offended that he was proven wrong, that he was full of shit and he was proven wrong. And he was offended at this doctor standing up to him and putting him in his place. So what he did, he threw a tantrum after reading what she'd wrote. He threw a tantrum. He got all my medical records, all of them, years of shit, all the tests that I've done, everything, and he destroyed it all in front of me. Said a few smart-ass comments about me, and then told me never come back ever again. All my medical records are destroyed. All the proof of everything that I've been trying to say for so long, all destroyed. All wasted. So I had to doctor hop again. I gave up on doctors for a while, and then I was at death's door, so I tried another doctor. I eventually found another doctor, Dr. Neil James at Batteau Bay, across the road from Batteau Bay Shops. Doesn't work there anymore. So I explained to him what the history of what was going on with doctors and shit. I wasn't going to try to reason with him. I said, look, this is what's gone on, and I'm sick of it. Just choose a side here. Are you just going to, if you're going to do this stupid shit that all these other doctors is, just admit it, and I'll never see you again. Otherwise, if you're going to do your job, let's be professional about it and be real about it. Cut all the bullshit. Stop. Don't fucking waste my time. I haven't got time, or I'm going to die. So I'm not going to put up with this shit. So just choose. Do your job or fuck off. And he actually had some kind of, he wasn't an expert in psoriasis, but he at least acknowledged that psoriasis was a real disease, and he acknowledged this conspiracy and corruption and shit over psoriasis. He was at least aware of it, and he admitted that I was right. And he said that he wasn't fully convinced about what I was saying, but he was very open to it, and he was willing to send me off to get some tests with an open mind to see if I really was as sick as I was. Now, at the time, I hadn't had any income for 6 years. So I originally went to Centrelink to try and get the dole out of desperation. I had no income, and I went to try and get the dole, which through a lot. It took me like a couple of years to get any kind of dole payment. I was investigated, accused by Centrelink all over the place. I was stalked by Centrelink government employees who were convinced that I was trying to defraud the system. A woman who worked at Centrelink kept showing up at my door just to remind me that she knows that I'm scamming the system and that she's going to catch me and I'm going to go to prison for the rest of my life. She kept calling me up, reminding me that she's going to catch me. Unbelievable shit, right? So I only had the dole for a very short time, and then my hair started falling out from the stress. I already had all these autoimmune problems. I was at death's door anyway, and my hair was falling out from all the stress from being stalked by this woman and accused every day. So I quickly cancelled the dole payment. I just went without any income for 6 years. So I said to this doctor, look, obviously I can't work. I've had no income for years, and can you at least write something to give me some kind of temporary income from Centrelink, just a doctor's confirmation that I can't, that at least right now I can't work. He didn't want to do that at first. He said he's got an open mind at least. He's willing to send me off to do some tests, and if those tests confirm what I say, then he'll write a doctor's certificate. So I had to do all of these tests, more tests, just to prove that I was sick. And then he would be open to the idea of writing a doctor's certificate for Centrelink, just for 3 months. So I got all these tests done, and again it confirmed that it was far worse than what I was saying. So then he reluctantly agreed to writing me a single doctor's certificate to give me a Centrelink income for 3 months. And he didn't really do anything apart from that. He was willing to give me cortisone. That wasn't a problem. He was actually willing to give me cortisone, a yearly supply of cortisone every year. But he wasn't willing to do anything outside of that. wasn't going to do anything. At least I got a doctor who was able to write me a temporary doctor's certificate for Centrelink. So the reason why I decided to try Centrelink and get an income again, because that after 6 years, that woman who was stalking me from Centrelink, accusing me of defrauding the system, well, surprise, surprise, she and a couple of her buddies at the entrance Centrelink office were caught 2 a.m. in the morning shredding paper documents, evidence of their fraud. They were defrauding the system. So the very woman who was stalking me and accusing me of defrauding the system was eventually caught defrauding the system, stealing money from the government under false names, and she went to prison. So I thought maybe if maybe these corrupt, evil pieces of shit at Centrelink have been gotten rid of, and maybe if I go back, they're not going to stalk me and shit, and threaten to lock me up and all that. So I, out of desperation, with no income for 6 years, I didn't have any clothes at all. All I had for clothing was a torn up blanket covering, using that as a robe. For a long time, that was all I had for clothes. And I owned no possessions whatsoever. I mean, eventually I got a computer and the internet, which wasn't my computer or my internet. And that's all I had. And I didn't even have clothes. I didn't even have any clothes to wear. I had no shoes or socks or underwear. All I had to my complete ownership of everything, all I had was a dirty, torn up blanket covering, doona cover, as a robe to wear. That's all I had. The only thing I owned. So I was desperate to get some kind of income. And he eventually, very reluctantly, and criticizing me too at the same time, he was very suspicious that I was shameful. Apparently I was shameful for seeking a Centrelink income. I'm like, I can't work. I'm a death's door. I haven't had an income for 6 years. I don't own anything. I don't even have clothes to wear. And apparently still I'm the bad guy for asking Centrelink for at least a temporary small income just so I can survive. After the government experiments, the government did this to me in the first place and I was never compensated or offered any kind of treatment. The government have done all this harm to me and disabled me, but somehow I'm the bad guy. So he did eventually write me a medical certificate to give me a very short temporary 3-month income from Centrelink. But that's not the end of it. Centrelink they still put me through hell and fucked with me really bad. Long story there. And so I was told that every 3 months I had to go get a medical certificate every 3 months in order to get an income. So every 3 months I had to convince this doctor, Dr. Neil James, to write me a medical certificate, and he would try and put the guilt trip on me and everything every time I did it, and he very reluctantly gave me one. I didn't know if I was going to get a medical certificate every 3 months. I was surviving in 3 months periods, hoping that I can convince this doctor every 3 months to write a medical certificate so I can survive for another 3 months. And I was told by Centrelink that what I have to do is I have to do this for 2 years, and then I'll automatically get transferred onto a pension. That's the only way that I can get any kind of income. So the income they were giving me before they would give me a pension for 2 years, it wasn't even enough to live on. It was just like a few dollars. And yet still they put me through hell for that. But I had to do this for 2 years, get medical certificates every 3 months and convince this doctor to give me one every 3 months for 2 years. And then they would finally give me some kind of just barely livable income in the form of a disability pension, support pension. And they lied to me. I could have applied for a disability support pension then and there. But they lied to me and said that I had to do this for 2 years, mess around like this for 2 years. So I'm living in the moment, not knowing, what's going to happen tomorrow for 2 years, hoping that this might work out in the end, if I'm even alive, because all I'm getting is weak cortisone as treatment, I'm practically bedridden most of the time on top of that, and all I had was my anonymous and internet stuff that I did. So all the stuff when I was in my prime, this is what I had to deal with when I was in my prime. I was bedridden a lot of the time, and all this shit, and I didn't, for many years, all I owned was a torn, dirty blanket as clothing. I didn't have a $10,000 computer and expensive computer equipment surrounding me at the time. I had a relatively shit computer. I had to learn to be really efficient with code and everything, otherwise, because the computer couldn't handle it, and stuff like that. The efficiency I learned, the habit of efficiency I learned was actually a very important skill that people don't have today. I don't regret that at all. I learned some important habits with coding there, very important habits that people don't have anymore. But old school coders had to work with limited resources too, since like the 1980s and stuff like that. And they had to learn these habits and skills themselves. It's just a shame that people don't have those skills today. They're just extremely inefficient and don't know how the code works, and so wasteful and using up massive memory and file sizes and load times. It's ridiculous. So I just got a message before I leave that till later. So after 2 years, and I was in that time I was constantly accused and investigated by Centrelink still over this. But after 2 years, when it came to where they would have to forcefully transfer me over to a disability pension, someone at Centrelink told me that, no, whoever told me that was full of shit. I could have done that 2 years ago. I could have just simply asked for a disability pension then and there. So they said, they're never going to automatically transfer me over to a disability pension. I have to go back to my doctor. I had to get a disability support pension application, and I had to get the confirmation of my doctor that I was not capable of work, and I wouldn't be long term, that I was permanently or long term disabled and sick, and completely unable to work. So I had to go back to my doctor. If I didn't get his approval this time, they'd cut me off. So I had to somehow convince this doctor into getting a long term disability support pension payment. And he was very reluctant, and he tried to shame me. He almost didn't sign it, and in the end he eventually and very reluctantly signed it, putting one big guilt trip on me while he did it. So I finally got a barely minimal income to survive on for at least a short time. And after that, Centrelink did not leave me alone. They stalked me like hell, constantly accusing me of being fake. They were doing shit in my name, signing me up signing me up and doing things in my name, all kinds of fucked up shit. And it got so bad that I made a series of official complaints and shit, and it got so bad that Centrelink acknowledged that people at Centrelink were messing with me highly illegally and stalking me and shit. They confessed that yes, they were doing this, and they took a desperate solution. So what they did is, on my file, they put a security lock on my file so that anyone who accessed my file would receive a warning that this is what was going on, and anything they do regarding me will be logged. So there was a security warning that everything they do is monitored when it comes to my account, to stop this stalking and shit. Anyone who accessed my account would receive this warning upon accessing it. So the stalking and shit stopped for a little while. And then it started again. Shit was done in my name. And I never found out who was doing it after that. It was done anonymously, but someone was doing it here and there. And then they eventually died off. And a couple of times here and there, they started fucking with me here and there over the years, here and there. But it mostly died down. It still happened here and there though. So I finally got an income by this doctor, and I was pretty much bedridden most of the time, and I did at least have a weak cortisone supply for a while. And I wasn't making any progress with my health, and I was bedridden and pretty much dying hopelessly, and all I had was my anonymous work, living every day as though it could be my last. And I was like that for quite a while. and I survived and worked hard with everything I had, and I didn't quite die. I hung in there and I made a big difference in the world in that time. And then Dr. Neil James, he moved. And I was sent a letter in the mail saying that Dr. James was he was moving away, and he would no longer be able to be my doctor at that practice anymore. But if I did want to continue seeing him as a doctor, I had to go like almost an hour away. I had to see him at this new doctor's practice if I wanted to continue having him as a doctor. It was way too far away for me to do that. So basically I had to go change doctor again at the same doctor's replacement for his replacement, who was Timothy Barling. And this guy was very reluctant to give me cortisone. He only gave me a small amount of cortisone. He wouldn't give me any more. He wouldn't give me a yearly supply like Dr. James did. And he wasn't interested in helping me with my psoriasis and all these kind of medical problems with bloating, inflammatory bowel disease, and internal bleeding, and rampant psoriasis and inflammatory autoimmune shit. Wouldn't help me at all. Wasn't interested. And he fucked with me a bit as well, and I pretty much had given up on doctors. There's no hope of getting anywhere, so I barely ever saw him on a rare occasion when I got a massive infection or some shit. And so then time goes by, like several years or whatever, and so Tim Barling is the doctor I have, but I never really see. And then everything happened where I went public with my life story and all that shit, and the police targeted me. I was kidnapped and tortured, all kinds of shit. You know, I'm really sick to begin with a lot of autoimmune shit, and I'm tortured and attacked, all this kind of shit, all the shit that was done to me. Somehow I still survived, barely. So I'm kidnapped and I'm taken to a psychiatric facility, and I'm drugged for an extensive period of time and tortured and mutilated with drugs in a disgustingly sickening way. And I went to hospital emergency, in and out of hospital emergency, almost dying from the mutilation and torture and damage from being drugged to the extreme. And seriously, their justification for the first time for imprisoning me, torturing me, mutilating me, drugging me heavily, and then putting me on a drugging order where they could drug me to oblivion for at least 6 months and effectively my whole life, as they chose to, with no judge or jury. They just had no oversight. They could just do it, just completely evil shit. Basically, I was targeted for exposing and criticising government corruption and having the ammunition to take the whole fucking lot of them down. They worked out that I really was anonymous, and it turns out I'm the big boss of Anonymous, and that I have real evidence of them. And then they started coming to my door at gunpoint every day, threatening me, the police did, and then government departments started doing it too. And I had secret video recordings of everything they did. I started publicly uploading it. Then they shit themselves, because on top of all the ammunition I had a sequence of recordings of the whole situation unfolding, of them coming to my door at gunpoint every day and shit. Unbelievably damning shit. And they were fucked. So they got desperate and they tried to assassinate me, frame me. For years they tried to frame me in courts, all kinds of shit. And they desperately, in the end, after finding them, so the first time at least, after finding them a series of footage of themselves doing corrupt, evil shit to me on the internet, after being tipped off by my own family, giving that to the police. An hour after they accessed the videos, they came back and told me that they're going to kill me. They're going to shoot me on record too. They're going to shoot me not for recording them. And it's all on record, and more and more police came over as the day went on. They seized me for a whole day. The entire heavily armed police force surrounding my home all day, taunting me, mocking me, threatening me to shoot me and shit. All on record all day. And then later on in the day, I told them that I had been recording everything that they were doing, and that I had just finished uploading hours and hours of what they were doing that day outside my home, sieging my home, and the shit they were doing, it's all been sent overseas. I just finished uploading it. You can't delete it now. It's gone. It's safe overseas. You're fucked. I called the police emergency line on them. The police emergency line wouldn't help me because I was reporting their very police. They tried to cover it up and shit. Look, there's a long story. So basically, they seized my home for documenting government corruption. They had no excuse for being there. They tried to make up a whole bunch of shit to try and frame me and make excuses and change their story repeatedly. And then after I told them that I had recorded everything, they panicked. They smashed down my door, pointed all their guns at me, beat the shit out of me. I didn't even try to defend myself. Got all these guns pointed at me and they're going to shoot me. And they beat the shit out of me, handcuffed me, paraded me in front of the neighbourhood, and then took me to the psychiatric facility under the accusation of mental illness. So, random accusation of mental illness. Who knows where that came from? It just ran out of the blue. And there was no even definition of the accusation. I just simply had a mental illness. I didn't have any particular mental illness. It just simply mental illness. This is what the purpose of psychiatry is, to get rid of whistleblowers and shit. So they didn't even have an accusation or a reason for why I was there. They just wanted to get me taken out. They couldn't get me through the courts. They couldn't assassinate me. They failed, and it's all got recorded. All their visits, their stalking and death threats and pointing guns at me and shit was all recorded, and they were fucked. And they had to take me out any means possible. So they pulled the psychiatry card on me, and they didn't even have an accusation against me. So I was locked up for a long time, and without any reason, heavily drugged and tortured and all kinds of shit. There's a long story about what happened. A lot of it's in my life story. I won't go into the details. So basically, they settled on an accusation eventually, a bizarre accusation. So apparently, in the end, they decided in the end why I was there. So normally, if you're in prison, they decide before you go to prison that, okay, you've done something, then you go to prison for what you've done. So the way psychiatry works, backwards. So they lock you up, and they don't have a reason for it. They lock you up and then they try and figure out some excuse to justify why you're there. And it's decided why you're there the day that you're released. Not before, but after. So when they finally released me, they come up with an excuse for why I was even there. So apparently I had a mental illness, and my mental illness was believing that a girl might have had feelings for me. That was my mental illness, apparently. But they kidnapped and tortured me again and locked me away for a year, and even worse shit happened to me. And my so-called mental illness then was documenting government corruption and being too smart for my own good. That was my official mental illness, and it was only ever listed in one document, and there's no record of what I've even been accused of anywhere else in any other document except for that one. It was just ridiculous, obvious, pathetic shit. I had police come into my door every day. They accused me of being a vampire and a werewolf, that they're going to shoot me and put me in prison for 10 years for being a vampire and a werewolf. I got accused of being a member of ISIS. Unbelievable shit. I got accused of going around at night. I don't eat food. I'm guilty of animal cruelty because on a full moon, once a month on a full moon, apparently I go around and I hunt wild animals and I eat wild animals, and I'm going to prison for animal cruelty because I eat raw, live, wild animals. Just shit you wouldn't believe. It's completely fucking insane. So, out of desperation, after everything medically had been done to me, exploitation experiments and shit, and bedridden and all that, Wyong Hospital, the psychiatric facility at Wyong Hospital, tortured and mutilated me and did all this other shit to me on top of everything else that had already been done by the corrupt medical industry already. And I've mentioned George Slawinski, the administrator of Wyong Hospital psychiatric facility. This guy is one of the most evil pieces of shit you could imagine in the world. It is a very long story. This guy's murdered thousands of people. He worked at the most notorious psychiatric facility in the world, where they kidnapped over 1,000 people there, and they strapped him to hospital stretchers. They strapped him down to a hospital stretcher for 3 months at a time, and they put wires into their head and they electrocuted them in the head every day, and they injected them with all kinds of drugs and shit, which killed them. He murdered a lot of his patients when he was a doctor. There's a long story here. I've got all his court documents where he went to prison. He was in and out of psychiatric facilities himself. He got done for all kinds of fraud. Every evil thing that imaginable he's done. And then the government just rescued him out of prison and decided, like, this guy's a pure evil psychopath, worst of the worst. And they pulled him out of prison and putting him into the ultimate power of a psychiatric administrator with absolute power and no oversight to use him as a tool for torturing, mutilating and murdering whistleblowers and shit. I've got a lot of his court documents of when he went to prison and all that shit. I've got some other stuff that's been, the government's deleted from the internet of his records of the past shit he's done. That's fucking insane. So this guy's the administrator of the psychiatric facility of one hospital responsible for my torture, imprisonment and mutilation and shit. And this guy tried to put a knife to my head to remove a piece of my brain out of curiosity. One of the implants in my brain, they studied my body because they knew about my medical records of the past, and that I had brain scans done in the past from an injury that I had, and brain implants were found. So they became aware of this, and they did more scans about this. They wanted to look at these things, these implants in my brain. And so they had me do more scans, and he decided that he wanted to remove one of them. He wanted to stick a knife into my head and cut one of these implants out and have a look at it out of curiosity. This on the shit. And the second time I was locked up, they tried to remove my eye because they said that I had one in my eye as well, and they wanted to have a look at that. They wanted to pull out my eye, take my eye out, and study it. Shit you wouldn't believe. All in the name of the medical industry. So, tortured and mutilated, imprisoned twice, and drugged for a long time after everything else that had been done to me. I was in a bad way, and I became a fugitive a bit over a year ago. I escaped them and became a fugitive. And I'm a fugitive without even being accused of anything. I've done nothing wrong. I haven't even been accused of anything, but I'm a fugitive. And I'm in a really bad way, and I need urgent medical treatment after everything has been done to me, but I can't access a doctor because the corrupt New South Wales police and certain people in government departments are after me. So if I see a doctor, they'll catch me. So eventually, I did a lot of work last year, especially late last year, and toward the end of that, my body just started collapsing really hard. I suddenly put on 20 kilograms of weight more rapidly as time went on for some unknown reason. I wasn't overeating or anything like that. I wasn't having that many calories a day. And I was just suddenly put on 20 kilos of weight. I developed a massive infection under my arm, turned to a giant lump. I couldn't even move my arm anymore. I got massive bloating. I have a history of bloating as part of my autoimmune problems. It was really bad in the past here and there, but it's gone into remission on and off. But I've always had a chronic bloating problem to some degree. But this bloating just got massive. So I seemed to have got an infection, and that infection has triggered all my autoimmune problems, a list of them. So I've put on 20 kilos. I've got an infection under my arm. I've got all kinds of joint problems, and most of all, I'm massively bloated and suffering a lot of nausea and fatigue, and because of that, I feel like I'm going to die because there's a pressure build up on my organs, and I seem to be getting organ failure from so much pressure against my organs from the inflammation for so long. My organs seem to be starting to fail. I'm fucked with autoimmune shit, inflammation shit, and I seem to be getting organ failure and shit all over the place. And my skin's in a bad way, everything's fucked. So this infection that I seem to have got last year seemed to have been tied to triggering my autoimmune stuff. For all I know, I was injected with a virus or some shit at the psychiatric facility, and that it's grown in my body, and it's finally taken its toll on my body. That could have been the case, or maybe I just randomly got some common infection that's fucked me up, and it's triggered all my autoimmune problems. I don't know, but clearly there's an infection related to this. So I went and saw a doctor. I explained to them, look, I've got these autoimmune problems a long time. I've been trying to get treatment for 25 years, run around in circles and excuses, and now I've got an infection. I haven't just got an infection, I've got this massive bloating and all this other shit going on. So obviously I need antibiotics for this infection under my arm, but that's not enough. I need proper treatment for this other shit going on. So, especially my bloating. So, they weren't interested. This doctor wasn't interested. I went to a doctor out of desperation, knowing that the government's probably going to try and catch me. I'm going to register on their records, and they're going to get me. So I had to do it because I was going to die anyway. So I had to risk going to a doctor. So I went to a doctor, and they gave me antibiotics, a standard course of antibiotics, and it cleared up most of the infection under my arm. But they didn't do anything about my other problems, especially my crippling bloating. Weren't interested in doing anything about it. They're like, okay, no, take this antibiotics for 2 weeks, then come back. If you still have these other symptoms, then come back. It's just every excuse and delay to waste time. Like, I've got autoimmune problems that need urgent treatment, and they just stretch it out and delay it with one feeble excuse after another, just to delay things and make excuses for not doing anything about an urgent medical problem that's life or death. Every day is causing more permanent damage, and they just make excuses to delay it. So I took the antibiotics. The infections seemed to get a lot better, but everything else, bloating especially, got worse. So my weight gain, the weight gain stopped after the antibiotics. The weight gain just stopped, finally stopped, and then it started slowly going backwards. So I finally started losing weight. So the weight gain seemed to be tied to this infection, and but my bloating, that didn't get better. That continued to get worse, and I was in a really bad way, to the point where now I've got internal bleeding and shit going on now. I'm going to die at this point. I need emergency medical intervention. So I continued to go downhill, and then when I first saw the doctor, as right on cue, I went to see the doctor, and straight away the government tried to catch me. The New South Wales police tried to catch me, right as I expected. So they were, I registered on the, my location was registered by the government, and they straight away went after me. So it was very risky, but they didn't catch me. They came after me, but they didn't catch me. So I continued to go downhill after that, despite the antibiotics, and the bloating got so bad, I'm not gonna make it tomorrow. I'm gonna die, and I decided to go to a doctor again, after narrowly escaping the government just before when I got the antibiotics. I mean, I'm definitely going to die if I don't get some kind of intervention right now. So I went and saw the doctor, saw another doctor at the same practice, and I explained the situation. This is an autoimmune problem, and I need urgent autoimmune treatment. And he disagreed. He's like, no, it's probably not an autoimmune problem. Let's go through some more common probabilities of what it would be, like a fecal impaction, or you just need to eat a cucumber a day, just drink a little bit more water, have some peppermint tea, just the stupid excuses. None of this stuff I've got an autoimmune problem with clear causes and clear solutions. I don't have these common problems that are not important and are minor and insignificant. I have a serious life or death autoimmune problem that needs treatment now. No, you're not even listening to what I'm fucking saying. But at least he sends me off to do a test for a pylori infection, a common bacteria infection that supposedly 2/3 of the world have, and this is the most common cause of stomach ulcers and bloating and shit. So at least that was a good thing, is to do a test for a pylori infection. That was a good thing. But he wouldn't do anything with cortisone and shit that I need, and prednisone. wasn't interested, just delaying shit. So he wanted me to take a laxative for a possible fecal impaction. He got it all wrong, and he was wrong about what he suspected it would be. I said all along, this is an autoimmune problem. It's not these other bullshit. It's never been that. It's always been an autoimmune problem. This is very serious. You need to take me seriously. It was going in one ear and out the other. Typical stupid, corrupt, incompetent doctor shit. But at least he gave me a test for a pylori infection. But I had to wait at least a week. And then he was going on holidays after that for a week. So I had to wait even longer. Just delays after delays. So I'm in a bad way now. It's massively degenerating. I've got internal bleeding now going on. I'm in a really bad way. I thought about going to hospital emergency a number of times. Didn't know if I was going to make it to the end of the day before dying. So I've organised to see, I've managed to survive just this time to all these ridiculous delays to see that same doctor again and in coming days. And I should find the results if I have a pylori infection. It is possible that a pylori infection is the cause of all this autoimmune trigger. And if I do have a pylori infection, treating it with the standard triple treatment, it might actually make most or all of my autoimmune problems go away if I'm very lucky. There's a small chance that, as bad as I am, that I could be fully cured rapidly within a couple of weeks. There's a small chance. It's unlikely, but there's a small chance. But outside of that possibility, which I'll find out very soon if I do have a pylori infection, it's something to explore. Outside of that, I'm not getting any explanation, any answer. I'm just getting fucked around with. And outside of that, if that's not the case, then I've got no hope I'm going to die. In the near future, I'm going to die. So I'm hoping that I'll find out in coming days that I do have a pylori infection, and hopefully treating that with the triple treatment would work. Like I need a colonoscopy to check my digestive system to see how bad it is and what exactly the problem is, where the inflammation is and what kind of damage it is and how to treat it. But just delay an excuse after another. I should have got a colonoscopy straight then and there, as quickly as possible, straight away make an appointment as quick as possible as an emergency to get a colonoscopy and other stuff, straight away. There's no excuse to delay and make excuses just to fuck around. This is life or death, imminent danger, and there's no excuse. So that's the situation I'm in right now. I may not sound it, but I'm in a very bad way. I've got massive bloating, internal bleeding, my autoimmune problems all over the place. I had the other day, I couldn't stand up. I had to crawl around because my back, inflammation in my back came out of nowhere. I got autoimmune shit all over the place, all over my body, rapidly degenerating all over the place, fucking me up bad. So it's all autoimmune related, and it may be connected to an infectious trigger. So there's a small chance that within the next couple of weeks or so, I might be dramatically better. And it might all come good, and then I'll be able to start doing all my work again. The work that I had to put on hold because I need to sort this shit out, and I need to be a lot more healthier and stable health to do the shit that I need to do. The important stuff I need to do. I need to be in a lot more healthier and stable to be able to do what needs to be done. I can't do that if I'm sick. I have to do it right, and I have to be thorough about it. So I need to sort this shit out first, this autoimmune problems. So in the near future, I'm either going to die, and there are big consequences of that. If you know my story, there are huge consequences of that. I'm either going to die, or I'm going to be cured, at least for the most part. It's going to go from one extreme to another in the near future, and I don't know which way it's going to go. I can only do what I can do, and the rest is out of my hands. So in the very near future, I'll find out if I at least have something to work with regarding a pylori infection. I'm going to see if I can get a colonoscopy, which I don't think this doctor's just going to fuck around. We'll see, but hopefully I've got a pylori infection, something to work with. So that's an example of my medical woes, the nightmare of corruption and incompetence and bullshit, and cover-ups and bullshit. That's a brief example of the shit that's been done to me, and I'm sick in the first place because of what corrupt doctors and the government have done to me. And for 25 years, I've been searching for some kind of medical treatment in a first world country of Australia. I've been searching for a doctor for 25 years. I spent many of those years completely bedridden, at death's door. I've desperately tried to get medical treatment for 25 years, and I've got nowhere in all that time. I've only been exploited and used as a guinea pig for medical experiments. That's all that's happened in 25 years. So here I am at the end of it all. I'm either going to die or I'm going to get a cure in the near future. So soon, we'll be able to find out which direction that goes. So that's where I'm at now. So I just wanted to make a video explaining why I've been silent, and I do have a lot of work to do and a lot of plans. But you know, I need to sort this autoimmune shit out first. It's a matter of if I can or not, if I'm going to die or not. So a lot of this stuff is just out of my hands. I just simply need to wait it out, do certain things, and just see what happens. So if I can sort this shit out and have something to work with, and I can, after 25 years of looking for a doctor, can actually finally get some medical treatment and sort this autoimmune shit out, then if that's the case, I'll be doing the bigger work than I've ever done, the more important shit than ever. Stuff that I can't even talk about here. The most important stuff ever. And I did have to wait anyway. There needed a certain amount of time needed to go by because while I'm in position for what needs to be done, I'm still waiting for others to be in the right position. So I need to wait for others to catch up to me before everything's ready. So I'm ready. I've got this health problem in the way, and I've got time to spare. If I survive, I've got time to spare anyway. So in that time, I'm dealing with this life or death autoimmune problem in that spare time that I have, while I wait for others to get into position. If I sort this shit out, when the time comes in the coming future, there is a lot that's going to be done in that case. So it's death or a cure. That's about all I should say on it for now. There's a lot. You look at my movies, you can look about more about my medical woes. I've got some documents of my medical documents and shit that I've shown in other videos, if you want to learn more about this. So that's just an example of all the stupid medical corruption and shit. 25 years I've been looking for a doctor in a first world country. That's fucking ridiculous. I should add one more thing. I know exactly how to treat my medical problems, and I have known for a very long time. It's rather simple what needs to be done. I need a colonoscopy. I need the triple treatment for pylori. Whether I've got pylori or not, there is an infectious agent needs to be ruled out. So my intestines need to be sterilized of any possible bacteria infection and reset anyway. I need prednisone to try and force reset my autoimmune system at the same time. And I need to take a lot of this stuff for at least several weeks, perhaps months when it comes to prednisone, probably months. So I need to do certain things on different fronts, all at the same time, and be thorough about it. And I need a colonoscopy to see firsthand what kind of damage I've got to work with here, and how to more accurately deal with that damage and repair it. And that includes taking an acid reduction pill to stop to reduce the acid in my intestines so that they can heal. But that alone is not enough, because I need to get rid of all microbes in my gut anyway, so that all possibilities are ruled out. And there's other stuff as well that needs to be done. I know what needs to be done. Now, the medical system is supposed to facilitate and supply medical treatment to the sick and vulnerable. It works opposite than that. The medical system, I know what needs to be done. The medical system isn't supplying what I need. It's blocking me from, it's preventing me and blocking me from accessing the medical resources and treatment that I need. It does an opposite of what it claims it's supposed to do. I mean, I've had people who've offered to go to Mexico to get me prednisone from Mexico, which you can get for cheap. The same shit you can get for cheap from Mexico. Just cross the border and get it from Mexico without any restrictions. Go back into the US, email it over here to Australia. Because I can't get it in Australia. They're all blocking me access to it. They've got no justification for it. They won't give me prednisone. They're still bullshit. But if I was in Mexico, I could get that shit over the counter just fine. There's just all this medical corruption, an industry of blocking medical treatments and keeping people sick for profit. Now, while people who criticise the medical system and corruption and exploitation and profit and shit in pharmaceutical companies and stuff, while most of these people who criticise pharmaceutical companies and AMA and shit like that, their arguments are generally shallow and they don't know shit. The basis behind what they're saying of the overall corruption is that part of it is mostly true. They just don't know shit about the details and everything else, and they mix the truth in with other ideological shit. But the premise that the medical system is entirely and irreparably corrupt, and it's not facilitating medical treatment, it's blocking medical treatment and exploiting people, and it's not curing people, it's harming people. That's what's going on. You can't fix it. You have to put it this way: when people who do such evil, genocidal, rampantly, extensively genocidal kind of shit like this cause a lot of harm and death on a mass scale of exploitation and evil like this, taking them to court and putting them to prison for 20 years is not good enough. And at this point, everyone knows you can't take these corrupt pieces of shit to court. The courts are corrupt. You're going to have to do something else. You're going to have to take matters into your own hands. And you're going to have to do what needs to be done, what everyone knows needs to be done, drastic measures with zero tolerance. Let's just say there are certain... how can I say it? Because I have to be careful how I say this on YouTube. So, when you have a virus in your body, or a bacteria infection in your body, a parasite in your body, exploiting and harming your body, if you're lucky, your immune system will fix it. So your immune system can't fix it. It's entrenched itself. Your immune system's been compromised. And your immune system's like the legal system. And the parasite is like these corrupt, evil pieces, entrenched pieces of shit. So the legal systems, you can't have them prosecuted. It's never going to work. The legal system's already compromised. And it needs to be sorted out in itself. So you're just wasting your time trying to sue them or have press charges on them or whatever. You're not going to get anywhere. It's just wasting your time. So you need to go beyond the legal system. You need to take matters in your own hands. So if you've got a parasitic infection and your immune system's not going to fix it, well, you do something like you take more drastic measures, like taking antibiotics. because you have to choose between your life and the parasite's life. You need to make a choice. The two cannot coexist, mutually coexist. You're going to have to choose one and kill the other. All parasites need to be dealt with the same way. When the immune system is compromised and the standard methods are not applicable, you need to take more drastic measures. And if you don't take those drastic measures, you're choosing the parasite and you're killing the host. You've made that choice. Your inaction is an action in itself. You choose between one or the other. One lives and one dies. You're making a choice through action or inaction. So don't pretend that inaction is just removing yourself from the equation. No, you have the power to do something about it. You're choosing to kill one and protect the other. At least admit that and own it. So when it comes to these corrupt, evil pieces of shit, don't waste your time taking them to court. Deal with them as you would deal with an infection. Take matters into your own hands. Don't just say, oh, my immune system will find a way to, it'll eventually somehow work in the end. No, if your immune system's compromised, it's not going to get better. If you do nothing about it, you're going to die. So understand what I'm saying here, what I cannot say directly here. There are parasites in the world, whether they be microbial or human or ideological or otherwise. You need to be identified for what they are. This is what parasites do. They hide as wolves among sheep. They try to sneak by undetected and emulate their host so that they could try and sneak by undetected. That's what parasites do. And they're vampires and they emulate their victims. And they role reverse and role play. The first stage is identifying them so that you can separate them from the host. Once you can separate them from the host and identify them, then you must remove them from the equation, by whatever means necessary. And you need to take drastic measures. Because if you don't, you die. And when you die, the parasite dies with you too. So either way, the parasite dies sooner or later anyway. It's simply a matter of is the host going to die with it? Parasites of the position of, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. That's what a parasite does. So the parasite's fate's sealed. You get to decide whether the host lives or not. Make your decision, admit it, and own it. There are drastic measures that at this point in time in the world, with such evil, corruption, rampant, entrenched in the world, that drastic action must be taken. Right now. Not 10 years from now, not 50 years from now. It's too late. That'll be too late then. Now is the time, is the chance that you have. So think about what I'm saying. Look at my story of medical corruption. Is this shit acceptable? Everything that I've said is true. Maybe you can look some of this up and see what I'm saying. And this is just what happened locally to me. This isn't just restricted there. This kind of stuff happens elsewhere as well. A lot more than people are willing to face. This isn't a minor problem. This is a far bigger problem than anyone realizes. And you just need to make the choice and take matters into your own hands. So think about what I said. Think about this fucked up medical situation that I've been in. And is this? Do you find this acceptable? Do something about it. If you're not going to do something about it, then you pretty much don't. You pretty much you got no pity from me when it's your turn. When they do this shit to you. If you're not going to do something about it, then you deserve anything that comes your way, and you'll get no pity from me. So choose a side, own it, own the consequences. One more thing I forgot to add was that doctor that destroyed all my medical records. Well, after I moved on to try other doctors and failing, eventually I find out that that doctor, Mr. Coco Swee, obviously an immigrant, and most of these so-called doctors are immigrants. Not all of them, most of them are. He went to prison because he murdered some of his patients. It wasn't just negligence that they fucked up, made a mistake. No, he was convicted intentionally, violating the trust of his patients and murdering them. I don't know how many, but there was a several of them, of victims that he murdered. And this was the Coco Swee who worked at the entrance. So this is the standards of medical experts, doctors that you must trust your doctor. This total scum. And they're all like this. I've been trying to get medical treatment for 25 years dealing with this kind of shit. In a first world country. In a place that's promoted to be like the best of the best.